Hey, what is up everyone? I am Piglet here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Monkey Ball Jr. for the Game Boy Advance. So last time we have a pretty decent time on beginner run, despite the fact that we actually got ourselves our first ever game over on the last stage on beginner extra. Don't you believe me? Well, you might as well able to actually just look upon that previous video first, and you see what I mean when it comes to the forms of trial and error heavy, more that kinds of stuff. So yeah, today for this episode is the fact that we're going to be hit on to the next difficulty run, which this time we're going to be hit on to advanced difficulty, which as far as you guys already know, advanced difficulty actually has 20 stages, whilst unlike the forms of the console counterparts on the Nintendo GameCube at least, they actually give us about 30 levels. Again, probably because of the handheld's limitations and all that stuff. So yeah, let's dive right into the forms of floor 1, and eventually we might able to actually get ourselves into... What? How do I supposed to make it for this point when I was trying to speed things up? Whatever. At least we did manage to make it there anyway. And as you can see on screen, I'm going to be selecting a different monkey this time, which this time, I'm going to be selecting Mimi for this particular run. And eventually, whenever we get onto expert difficulty, then I should probably switch it over to Baby until at some point on next Tuesday. And as far as Monster Mode is concerned, well, it might be pretty obvious what this final answer will be. It will actually have to be by the forms of Gun Gun for last, because, well, just like the forms of how it does on the previous Super Monkey Ball Let's Plays in the past, well, the only exception is of course Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, because in Story Mode in Deluxe, you always have to be forced to able to play as, well, Ai for the entire time, but I guess it's kind of nice to able to actually just to switch things up a notch. So, anyways, let's go ahead and just keep on moving forward, so just in case we don't lose our balance, so just in case we don't able to accidentally fall off for the majority of the actual stages throughout. So, yeah, there's not much else we can say, because even then though today's day is the forms of the 7th of May in 2020, so usually, relatively speaking, is the fact that, you know, with the actual compilation game on the 3DS, which is the Puzzle & Dragons Z and Super Mario Bros. Edition on Puzzle & Dragons game compilation, for the 3DS at least, in the UK country, it will be 5 years old until tomorrow, so I'm pretty pleased to see how... Son of a biscuit! God, I hate the goal in this sometimes, because sometimes if I was going to be able to be super precise with all these weird momentum and stuff, sometimes I instantly find myself as able to actually keep on dying a lot. And by the way, in floor number 4 right here, originally we're about to be having ourselves 60 seconds in the console version, whilst in the forms of the handheld version, or in this case Super Monkey Ball Jr., now actually has 20 seconds. And same applies to the forms of floor 5 and floor 6, that we obviously get ourselves 30 seconds in our time, as opposed to, well, 60 seconds if you will, so... Oh yeah, kind of thinking about it though, we haven't come across into a bonus stage yet on, advanced difficulty. I think it's pretty obvious because of how the fact that because of the handheld's limitations, so as a result, we might able to come across into... Ah! So close! Let's try this again, shall we? But thankfully though, that I was a little bit too hasty. Once again, I'm just a little bit too hasty, and yeah, there's my another game over. Seriously, there's gonna be a lot of times you have to come across into a lot of game over screens nonetheless. By the way, if you're probably wondering where we are able to actually get ourselves infinite continues as opposed to limited amount of continues, the reason being for this, I use the cheat codes, because it is simply impossible to able to actually get to advanced extra levels as well as expert extra levels, which, spoiler warning, that we're not going to expect to able to get those anytime soon. Most luckily, we can able to show you guys what some of these stages will look like in during a practice mode. And sadly I can't use a shortcut over there because of depth perception, and also because of how the fact that the actual janky physics in mind. Seriously, I just kind of prefer playing it back on new forms of Super Monkey Ball 1 or even Monkey Ball 2, so that way I can able to get ourselves a lot more, well, freedom, as well as the future games throughout. But don't get me wrong, it is a quite impressive game back in the day. Especially noticeable, this is on the Game Boy Advance, and this is one of the first few Game Boy Advance games to able to render in 3D environment, which is pretty cool stuff, mainly with the actual stages themselves, compared to the forms of the actual background, that is just simply just, you know, flash 2D kind of environmental stuff. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get to the goal, and we'll be good to go for the most part though. So now let's move on to floor 7, which is basically just dodging a lot of like small walls and stuff, so... But you know, you get the idea. I'm sure most people seem to already do the actual cheat codes already by simply able to actually entering... Well, I'm probably not going to discuss about this until whenever we get on to the forms of the 3rd difficulty mode, which is of course expert difficulty, so don't expect things for that specific mentioning for that specific stuff. Son of a... Oh my god. I'm pretty much stuck at this game because, unlike Monkey Ball 1 and 2, even excluding Monkey Ball Deluxe, that I seem to have no problems with these games at all, probably because, well, obviously I just pretty much exactly know this kinds of stuff, but usually, relatively speaking, it's the fact that since still I have not played this game for almost donkey's years since when I first got it back in 2008, that it's a little bit more likely a 6 years later or anything like that, because I didn't get it on day 1, obviously, because obviously we just only got Super Monkey Ball 1, and especially Super Monkey Ball 2, aka my childhood memories of gaming stuff, despite how challenging these games can be, especially noticeable with how the levels attempt to go in a little bit of a different kind of, I don't know. Alright, so let's get into the goal. I can't be bothered to able to get these bananas just in case, because I just want to able to actually get this done and over with before we move on to Insanity, which is on expert difficulty, so... Alright, so... dang it! I keep on falling off like nothing else. And this is the newest level that's been exclusive to this game, which appears to be likely an elevator kind of level, because basically we need to go from one floor to another while simply able to avoid a lot of bumpers, as you can see. So as a result though, we need to be extremely cautious with that, so... Oh gosh, the ending portion, oh man. I think most people seem to die on this part a lot, because if they expect you to be able to believe, you need to make yourselves a leaps of faith, or in this case you need to gain extra speed, and as a result, you might end up falling off constantly if you keep on like, not to get your speed up. So as a result, this is what you really recommend you're able to get a lot of emphasis on the A button control. So just in case you weren't able to actually decide to speed up and just make your leaps of faith of jumps and stuff. So as a result, this is going to be one of those cases that this is going to be one of the hardest games to able to 100% on, next to the forms of Deluxe, if a little bit, well, only specifically on the PlayStation 2 version because of, well, the lack of octagonal precision stuff, as well as a little bit on Xbox, except the fact that the Xbox version does have very, very superior frame rate, as well as no loading times, unlike the PlayStation 2 counterparts, where it does have a lot of loading screens on the PlayStation 2 version, as far as I like to say so. So, alright, so here we go with the bonus floor. We have 75 seconds. Seriously. At first I thought this is before when Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, specifically on, well, the original version as well as the HD remaster, if you will. They tend to have, like, more time compared to the forms of the previous games, for sure. So, it's kind of nice to be able to actually have ourselves extra time before the actual time runs out and stuff like that. But basically, in this bonus stage right there, by the way, this is the only bonus stage we have to come across in this difficulty, because either way, all we need to do is basically we need to be able to go through those bridges, and then you have to collect, you know, 9 bananas in each specific segment. So as a result, not too bad, not too hard either. So either way though, now let's move on to, I think we're actually on the halfway point on advanced difficulty already. So as a result though, we are now moving on to floor 11, which apparently is going to take place in the desert environment this time, as opposed to my favorite world in the game, which is actually by the forms of Monkey Mall, which appears to be on Monkey Ball 1, as well as Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, if you will say so. Unless if you really want to count Super Monkey Ball 2 ROM hack or anything like that, but either way, they haven't really looked upon that much of Monkey Ball for quite a while, because as a result, I've been busy playing some other games recently, like Luigi's Mansion 3, so I need to finish that game up, and especially noticeable with, well, I did manage to able to actually still redeem Nintendo Switch Online membership service, the 12-month one, so just in case we can able to actually play a lot of online stuff, specifically Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, as well as, you know, as I mentioned this before, Luigi's Mansion 3, and it's especially noticeable with, of course, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Despite I've not played online in Smash Ultimate for quite a long time, probably because of how the fact that recently I just managed to complete all these tasks in the challenges list, so as a result, yeah, this is gonna be one of those cases that I seem to not usually come back into online, and plus because whenever I play online in Smash Ultimate, it still has the forms of likely just to have a bit of a lagging moment here and there, so as a result, yeah, that can be a little bit more of a, I don't know. Alright, so let's just be very careful right here, so just in case we don't fall off like nothing else, and there we go. Alright, so now let's move on to floor 13. You can actually able to actually pull off a shortcut while skipping this beginning portion by simply doing this. But in order to actually just to do that, you have to like speed things up in order to actually just make it for that point. So yeah, it seems it's kind of weird that it takes place in a desert environment as opposed to in the original Monkey Ball, or in this case Super Monkey Ball 1, that the only time you can always see the desert environment was actually on expert mode. So as a result though, it seems it's kind of weird, even though it kind of does the same thing for, you know, obviously Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, where it has like a desert environment in beginner and advanced and even expert. I'm guessing it's probably because that the desert theme world is actually pretty cool to look at in terms of the actual structure. Well, usually I surely totally say that, right? But man, I really do miss the Monkey Mall environment in this game. I think the reason why that the Monkey Mall environment wasn't there, probably because of the forms of, you know, the forms of that specifically in the Sky High world, that it does already retains the Monkey Mall music in the background, which is kind of odd, probably because of the handheld's limitations or something like that. But either way though, it's just my personal preference. And here we go on to floor 14, which, as you can see, we got 45 seconds as opposed to 30 seconds, unlike floor 19 in the original Super Monkey Ball. So as a result, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of significant differences between the forms of this game and the original Super Monkey Ball. Well, there's also another difference of this game compared to the forms of another version of Super Monkey Ball, except the fact that it was on commercially flopped handheld device, or should I say the phone console handheld device, which apparently you guys should know what I'm talking about. There's also the N-Gage port, or the N-Gage game, of Super Monkey Ball. Well, usually it just calls it Super Monkey Ball rather than Super Monkey Ball Jr., but I think it's a little bit of a confusion side effects. So, but what's the only difference between the forms of the N-Gage port of Super Monkey Ball Jr. than the Game Boy Advance version, if I like to call it that? Well, for starters though, is the fact that if you ever played the N-Gage version of Super Monkey Ball, well, in this case the N-Gage Super Monkey Ball game, as a result, most of the characters, specifically Ai, Mimi, Baby, and Gongon, they all rendered in 3D. Ah! I hate you, bumpers! By the way, those bumpers aren't exactly that different depending on what world you're in, so it's just a matter of the fact that you will still able to come across into the exact same bumpers colors and stuff like that. Like, you get, I would say inspired by the bonus stage bumpers from the original Super Monkey Ball, if I'm not mistaken, but either way though, because of how the fact that, well, because again, due to the handheld limitations, which can be also same applies for other games as well, specifically Touch and Roll, and even especially noticeable with Banana Blitz, essentially, and of course Step and Roll as well, so as a result, yeah. Alright, floor 16 is not too bad though, it's just you have to simply just, well, go straight forward, while occasionally we're trying to get some more bananas in the process, but hey, there you go. Alright, so floor 17, where we have to dodge a lot of those spikes, as you can see. Now the biggest problem with this stage, especially noticeable whenever we get onto the final stage in expert difficulty, spoiler warning, there's going to be a lot of collusion issues. Like for instance, I swear I was going to be able to avoid a lot of the spikes as possible while simply just moving so slowly. And don't get me started until whenever we get to the end of Expert, by the way, because as a result, most of the collusions, even when you're trying to collide to the spikes, sometimes it always attempts to mess my footing and stuff. So as a result, yeah, it definitely wasn't all that in mind. So as a result, yeah. And as you can see on front, that we managed to able to now explore in the underwater world, as you can clearly see. And by the way though, speaking of such with the actual audio tracks and the actual differences between the Game Boy Advance version of Super Monkey Ball Jr. compared to the N-Gage version, the actual audio cues is actually pretty much limited on the N-Gage version of Super Monkey Ball, because compared to Junior, it does have a lot more variety in music department, specifically depending on what worlds you're going to be exploring on, that at least it gives ourselves some sort of like the Game Boy Advance version of the regular music from the original game. But that's not the case on the N-Gage this time around, sadly, because the only tracks you're going to be only hearing in the Game Boy, not the Game Boy Advance, the N-Gage, you know, the N-Gage game of Super Monkey Ball, the only tracks you're going to be only hearing is of course, we still got ourselves the title screen music, as well as the main menu music, and especially noticeable with the bonus stages and all that stuff, the bonus stage music. However, the only track you're going to be constantly hearing, it doesn't matter if it's on main game or even the actual main stages themselves, and even especially noticeable there's actually a party games or mini games as far as I'm aware, that's the only music you can only be hearing constantly is the jungle theme, which if you manage to go to Sky High World in the N-Gage game, as well as I would say the desert theme world, or even the underwater world, or the snow level and stuff like that, probably be, well, most likely, because I haven't really looked upon that much gameplay footage of Super Monkey Ball for the N-Gage. So as a result, yeah, it doesn't make that much sense with the music choice for that department, because again, the N-Gage game is completely limited with all these little soundtracks or sound bites in terms of likely due to the forms of depending on what worlds you're going to be exploring onto, so yeah, I might be biased, but either way though, I'm probably not going to get it anyway, because of, I have no idea why they tend to screw that up. By the way, this game does have minigames as well, but the only minigames you're going to be only play on is, aside from Monkey Door, which can only be actually accessed to the multiplayer departments, which basically Monkey Door actually represents, it's actually inspired by just competition mode from the original Super Monkey Ball. And the other three minigames, however, though, there are Monkey Fight, as well as Monkey Bowling, and finally Monkey Golf. So as a result, I don't know if we might be able to actually do Monkey Golf or even Monkey Bowling in this version, but then again, though, we'll see what happens there during the future time comes. So as a result, yeah, let's not worry about this too much. So as a result, yeah. And another thing is worth mentioning though is the fact that in the N-Gage game of Super Monkey Ball, for the N-Gage I should say, does also have 3 mini-games, except there is no multiplayer, which stinks, because usually in every single Monkey Ball games always attempt to have multiplayer aspects, which has always been a key factor at this throughout the entirety of the series, whilst usually Super Monkey Ball Jr. also has multiplayer as well, so at least we got that at least, but I have no idea why the N-Gage Super Monkey Ball doesn't seem to have multiplayer at all for the sake of time, which is a little bit of a waste of opportunity, and plus as a result, well, we still obviously got Monkey Fight in the N-Gage game, but the two major differences is the fact that we got Monkey Race and Monkey Target on the N-Gage game, so as a result, yeah, what I've noticed is the fact that these 3 minigames in Super Monkey Ball for the N-Gage is also pretty limited, because the only environments you can only do on is of course the jungle environments, which as a result, yeah, it seems pretty much lackluster in comparison to the forms of Super Monkey Ball Jr.'s content, and especially noticeable with the rest of the series as of now. So as a result, yeah, I'm definitely not going to pick that up, so as a result, yeah. Well, usually, relatively speaking, that usually for Monkey Target was actually on Super Monkey Ball for the N-Gage. That this usually becomes their fan favorite minigame from Super Monkey Ball 1. So expecting that version will be good, right? Well, it turns out that particular minigame is actually the worst of the three, because as a result, every target on the actual minigame itself is just a square shape. Well, usually trying to actually launch yourself on the actual ramp is it's perfectly normal in terms of the forms of as to be expected on the original version, but landing on the target is what the actual most people found it a little bit problematic, because, well, it doesn't matter if you're able to try to land it a little bit more slowly and stuff, but then again, I haven't really looked upon that much gameplay footage of Super Monkey Ball for the N-Gage, because it seems it has like quite a few videos of it, but either way though, it's just the fact that, well, I haven't really picked it up for myself, plus because I've already noticed what the actual stages looks like in Super Monkey Ball for the N-Gage, probably because of how the fact that, well, I think it's usually trying to replicate some of the exact same stage ideas as in the console counterparts, or even Super Monkey Ball Jr., if you will. So yeah, as a result of that specific matter, is the fact that, well, it just happens most of the time, so... But as a result though, Super Monkey Ball for the N-Gage was just a massive mess. Like, it does have some very negative reviews, which can be almost the same applies for the Super Monkey Ball Adventure, which is probably perhaps one of the worst games that exists. But ultimately speaking, is the fact that Super Monkey Ball for the N-Gage does have a lot of negative reviews, probably due to complaints about clunky controls, lack of content, and also the lack of audio tracks, which as a result, that usually soundtracks in every single Monkey Ball series has always been the best part about the series for me. Well, apart from a few occasional moments, like for instance, I'm not a big fan of the soundtrack choices in Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll. Yeah, I'm looking at you, World 7's music, because it always gives me repetition. And as a result, yeah, that's as far as I can usually think about that for the time's sake. So either way though, as you can see, we now move on to the final stage in Advanced difficulty. As you can see, we have, oh man, this particular spinning thingy right here. Although, unlike in the console counterparts, that this one actually took a little bit longer than in forms of how it does it in specifically that quick shortcut you can able to perform on the, you know, specifically in the console. What in the world is this? Am I standing on the invisible platform? What the hell is that all about? Oh my god, what a weird collusion right here. But anyway, aside from everything else though, that's as far as I can say about this when it comes to the forms of today's discussion for this point. While I'll talk more details about how much the forms of how the fact that there's going to be a lot of frustrating moments in journey forms of, well, specifically, this particular difficulty as well as expert difficulty, which again, we'll talk more about it whenever we get on to next Tuesday, or even next Thursday, if you will. So as a result, yeah, we didn't get any extra stages at all in Advanced difficulty, but luckily for me, since I managed to able to perform a nice cheat code, that means I can simply just show you guys what the actual stages all look like in Advanced Extra, because I don't think anyone else can able to actually beat it on their first attempt, well, for the first time players, because of, you know, with the actual momentum, especially the controls in this game sometimes gets a little bit tad stiff. So as a result, let's head on to the forms of the actual practice mode right here. Yeah, I was normally trying to able to utilize the actual emulator to save state, but unfortunately, speaking of such, we do have some technical difficulties on the computer on the emulator. So let's just ignore those these difficulty selections for a while. Let's dive right into the Advanced Extra levels by simply just going to practice mode. I know it seems a little bit redundant, but honestly guys, with all this trial and error in mind, I just really don't care, because as a result, it just gets super outrageously difficult. If you really want to go for 100% completion of this title, well, good luck, because as a result, you're gonna fall off a lot from the majority of what's not so bad in beginner, as I said before, but trying to able to unlock Advanced Extra levels as well as Expert Extra levels, you're gonna have yourselves a really rough time, especially noticeable with the actual, well, another biggest problem that most people seem to always complain about is that the camera in this game can sometimes throw you off, which as a result, you don't have that much freedom with your movement, if you will, so as a result of that specific stuff, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of those trial and error moments like these do, so as a result, luckily we're pretty much at the halfway point of this particular Let's Play so far. Sorry for a little bit of the moving microphone in the background, because I just need to give myself my good position with the recording sessions in mind, so yeah, in this level right here, yeah, basically, so we need to avoid a lot of those bumpers. But the thing is about this stage, as you can see, as I mentioned it before, the camera can sometimes throw you off. And second, is the fact that we need to bypass those little thin, tiny thin platform, or that tiny thin road to able to walk through. So as a result, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on, you know, trial and error, as I said before. Easily the most trial and error games I've ever played, along with the forms of, well, I would say Mega Man and Bass for the Game Boy Advance, which is on the same platform, well, despite the fact it was actually a port to the Japanese exclusive Super Famicom game, so... Oh yeah, and also the same applies to Super Meat Boy as well, despite the fact that you were able to actually have no game overs and stuff, so... At least you're able to get that particular option, so... Okay, come on. Ah! I was so close! It's always this bit that gives me a hard time with. Even though I did manage to play this on my own time, after I've managed to achieve my cheat codes and stuff like that, but most of the time, it just never seemed to able to actually give myself a little bit of an easier moment's notice, so... Okay, come on, we're just almost there now, so we just got this last bit, just run straight ahead, and there we go. Whew. But at least we got ourselves a perfect score at least, for the sake of the forms of trying to collect every single bananas. But anyways, let's move on to the next level, which is Advanced Extra 2. And in this particular level, it almost kind of reminds me of one of the levels in Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll, except, well, it's actually on a GBA rather than on the Nintendo Wii. And plus, without motion controls, it was actually just the buttons themselves. So... Alright. I keep failing off like an idiot. This will give me a hard time sometimes, but either way though, yeah. Thankfully on Master Mode on this game, it only has like 5 stages as opposed to the majority of likely the amount of stages we can go through. So yeah, everything else will be expected at this point, so... It seems just kind of weird that every single levels in the extra levels, they always attempt to give you plenty of time. So anyway, let's move on to the final extra stages in the advanced difficulty. We have floor 3 and... oh boy. I keep thinking of it was like a standstill, but it turns out we have to deal with the forms of that tilted stage, as you can say. So yeah, we need to be extremely precise on this last bit, because in this last bit, we have to aim exactly for this point. But then again, my physics, especially noticeable with the actual momentum, sometimes gets a little bit screwy. But it's nothing nearly as annoying as the Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis for the Game Boy Advance. Oh my god, that version is atrocious. But anyway, so... Alright, let's just be very cautious for this point right now. Plus, it doesn't give us a lot of bananas on this stage. It only gives us 4. But anyways, we are done. We're done with advanced difficulty, despite I need to select extra stages on practice mode, because I don't care, because of cheat codes awaits. But I digress. So we're gonna have to end things off at this point right there. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Monkey Ball Jr. And that was the fact that we're about to be going through a goblet of stages in, oh boy, expert difficulty. See you guys until next Tuesday. Later, fellas. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this.